Good afternoon. Brett, Swafford Homestead.
It's wet.
She's paying more attention outside.
Well, I'm just watching the river flow beside the house.
And we're kind of getting used to it this week. We're up to, well, over 8 inches of rain now this week.
Since
And it's still pouring. It's supposed to end early tomorrow, so.
it hasn't even been the whole week. It's just been like the last 3 or 4 days.
Wednesday,
The biggest first storm went through Wednesday. We got about 5 inches of rain.
and Thursday it came a couple more inches.
Gave us a break yesterday.
Now it's come a couple more inches.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know where it is exactly because some of it's blowed sideways, and our rain gauge don't catch sideways rain.
no.
It barely catches rain, but I'd say we're probably pushing at least 8.25, 8.5 from what I've seen. We ain't got a total for the week. Our gauge don't do that yet. It has to hold that, Sunday morning or something other. We'll find out Sunday morning exactly how much it read, but it's enough. And it stopped everything from outside. There's no gardening.
I feel like we ought to have a boat just to go down the driveway.
And if you put anything in the garden right now, it's going to need scuba gear because it's underwater
Yeah.
when it's raining. Of course, it's clay. It drains off, but we did get 9 rows of potatoes put out.
Maybe they're still over there and hadn't washed away.
As of yesterday, they were still covered in dirt. But the hills, because I bury potatoes here in Tennessee on top of the ground and build a hill over it because you can't get them back in this clay if you bury them. If you dig a ditch and lay the potatoes, you're not getting potatoes back. You just fertilize the ground, what you've done. So I laid them almost on top of the ground and throwed some dirt over them. And they was about 6 inches of hill when I started. They're almost equaled out. You can barely tell what the hills are right now at the bottom of the garden. But they're still under dirt. And some of them starting to poke up. So maybe we made it past that point of will they grow or will they rot.
I don't know.
We got about 7 or 8 days on before it started pouring. So on the last ones. The first one had almost a week and a half. Almost 2 weeks. What else can we talk about?
I think even ducks was ready to go hide for a while in this. Sheesh.
I work for the school system. I've been out of school for a couple of days.
Yeah,
Rivers
roads
got out of the
flooded.
banks and creeks out of the banks and
Trees down.
trees
roads
down,
flooded.
roads flooded. Of course, where we're at, we don't have them problems, but we don't have water issues. It all drains off where we're at, but the trees could be a problem because we've got a lot of overgrown trees around here.
But
We haven't afforded to cut yet, but
could be a lot worse. It could be like Selmer.
yeah.
I think it pretty much wiped out a lot of that community. It's been a rough few days.
Her,
And my head didn't want to work either, so.
yeah, it's been hard on her. The weather and all the issues and things going on. And
I tell you.
I was just thinking our garden group starts up again tomorrow. Or the lack of gardening group, I guess. 'Cause unless you're growing rice right now, I mean, you're not doing much in the garden.
You ain't gardening much right now, no. But we're just basically going to discuss what, people need help and how to communicate with each other.
We're going to have one of them meetings. What was it?
Authorization to proceed meeting.
Yeah, where I used to work at a factory, they had an ATP meeting. They called it an ATP meeting every Monday. That's authorization to proceed. They had a meeting to discuss having a meeting, so
But we never proceeded with nothing.
we proceeded to the next ATP. I think that's what it equaled.
Oh, those were days, I tell you. Well, we did transplant our tomato plants.
Yeah, and they should have been in the ground like last week.
Some suckers are this tall. I mean, they're huge.
Probably 2 foot tall. They're overgrown for a cup, and they really need to be in the dirt. But
Couldn't get them in the dirt because of the rain.
It'll be the end of this coming week before we can get them in the dirt now.
If it'll dry up enough.
We're supposed to have a week of dry weather.
So, I
Semi-dry
love how
weather.
you put supposed to. We did get the green bean trellis up before the
Yeah, we got-
monsoon came.
We got most of it up.
We still got 2
I
panels
left
that
a couple
are.
panels down where I could get the tractor in and out of the garden in case it did this. I'm probably going to have to fluff the garden back up because it's beat it down. I've plowed it. I've turned it with the cultivators and went back and turned it with the cultivators again. Now we're probably going to turn it with the cultivators again. Because every time I get it rolled up and get it fluffy, it pours rain. We've had 20 inches of rain the last 3 months. That was a third of what we had,
Oh, you're
more than a third of what we had last year together. We've got it in 3 months.
Got a boat?
If it wasn't for the promise, we'd be building an ark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Because I tell you,
See, trying to catch up on everything because it's been a while since we've done one of these.
we got us an air conditioner since we did a.
I put in a Mr. Cool
Do it yourself.
Easy Pro 18,000 BTU. It's actually above our heads here.
If they can't say it because we didn't.
We might have to do a little short video about it later, but we found out, or I got reminded, I guess you can say. It's been a long time since I cut holes in this house and run stuff. It was a good reminder, I have to say, to when you own a house that doesn't have studs in the wall. This is one of those old sawmill houses where they built it all out of planks, and they're double stacked planks. There was times when I had to drill from both sides with a deep well hole saw because the wood is so thick. And
Only about yay thick.
I'm about 4.5 inches. Some places almost 5. But I put it in a spot where I guess I caused myself all these issues, but our house circulates air, especially the heat in the wintertime, one certain direction, and we've learned how to push the heat through the house because we didn't have central. You have a pellet stove or something like our fireplace or pellet stove in one room. You've got to be able to push it to the other rooms. So over my head here, the inside unit, I mounted so it would blow into the kitchen, because it blows from the living room to the kitchen to the storeroom to the bedroom, and it makes a good circle. We've got 2 doors in every room. That's just the way this old house was, which we figured out why, but if you circulate the air the right direction, it works really well.
Get all the ceiling fans going the right direction, it works really well.
The other problem I run into, other than solid wood walls, is the porch on this old house starts out at 84 inches. It's exactly 7 foot. You've got an 8-foot ceiling, you've got a 7-foot porch. My front door, I had to cut a gap into the porch of the front door frame, or into the porch itself to get the front door frame into the porch itself. It has to actually go up in the porch, because it drops steeply from 84 inches or 7 foot. So I had to cut a couple inches of the inch and a half of the ceiling out and lean the door frame up years ago. So when I put in the inside unit to run the pipes to the outside unit, they came through the wall with a lot of measuring just above the ceiling of the porch, which I didn't want to run the freon lines in the ceiling of the porch because it's got a solid ceiling and I can't crawl out there to it, and I'd have to saw the ceiling out in order to be able to run it. So we cut a small hole and run the lines. We'll make that a video, but let's just say it was a lot more difficult than most houses. If you ain't never had a house that's solid wood, it's you've never had a good adventure.
But this old house has been standing for nearly 100 years, so.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
it depends on which old people you talk to back then. The ones that's dead and gone used to tell us this house was probably 100 years old, because it was built earlier than what they had marked in the courthouse, because our courthouse burned in the 20s. It was a wooden building out of the 1800s, and it burnt to the ground, and all records was lost, and our house record shows it's built in 37 or 38 now.
Which one was 36?
Our daughter's house that we own. We own 3 houses, so yeah, we're in the process of owning 3 houses.
Us and the bank.
Us and the bank owns 3 houses. We own our house, but
Our house we own free and clear, but our neighbor was ready to sell the houses that she owned. She owned 2 houses side by side, and we bought those from her.
Almost adjoining our property.
We wanted to have control over who was living beside us, and our daughter was renting a place at the time, and we asked her if she'd be willing to move into one of them if we bought them, and she was like, yeah. And so we bought them, and one of them our son lives in, and the other one our daughter lives in. And I love the fact that I know, as long as I pay the bill and pay the mortgage on it, my children have a roof over their head, no matter what crazy, wild adventures they want to take.
One of the men in church likes to call this the Swafford compound. That's why it's getting that way.
On to a few more of the properties around us, and we can call it that. But
We
right
get her
now,
wish, get her prayers answered.
well,
It'll get a little bit bigger around here. We'll expand our tent stakes, I guess you could say, like the Bible says.
Yeah.
That'd be a whole nother video.
We just. I really enjoy our little tiny house. It's not big. It's everything we need. Although we are talking about building an outside kitchen on it, so we don't have to heat up ours.
It's not technically what people today call a tiny house. It's just a small house built back in the early 20s or 30s, whichever it really is. It's hard to say because we had some really old stuff when we moved here, but and the doors were 6 foot tall and the windows were 6 foot tall, and it was different. If
you look at it in the respect of houses when it was built, it was a nice size house.
It was a good house.
It was a 2-bedroom. At that time, there was no bath. It was a 2-bedroom, a living room, and a kitchen.
That was the late 70s edition, according to the ones we talked to.
The bathroom didn't come into existence until about the late.
Well, the floor was there.
It was a back porch in the 70s.
The back porch got turned into a bathroom in the late 70s.
Yeah.
Indoor plumbing.
Indoor plumbing came to the house.
Yeah. We made videos about digging the well.
That sucker filling up.
The well does refill. I pumped it out. Let's see. Last week we pumped it out on a Friday.
Yeah, something like that.
Thursday or Friday afternoon, I went down there and put the pump in, hooked the hose up, and I run the pump. It was Saturday when I washed the gazebo out. We got videos about the gazebo. We've actually made videos in the gazebo. But it's been shut off for a while because Cindy's health, she hadn't been able to go down to the gazebo and actually use it, and I hadn't took time to do it myself because that was something we did for relaxing. You go down to the gazebo, build a fire, sit back and relax. It's kind of quiet down there. It's in behind the trees and stuff. You don't get bothered most of the time. Hardly anybody knows you're down there unless they see the smoke rising.
Yes, we have a fireplace in the gazebo. I love my gazebo.
But Miss Cindy's got doing better, so we started cleaning the gazebo out and see if we can't get it where we can go down there every once in a while.
Well, I've learned how to not predict, but between the two of us, we can tell when I'm getting down. We've noticed the signs.
We noticed the things, the keys that sets her off. The triggers. What I was trying to think.
Yeah, that's the word.
We figured out her triggers, and we figured out how to avoid the triggers, and what to do if she gets one, sprung up on her. Because sometimes people don't realize what they're doing, like snapping pictures or bright lights or something like that.
That's not, this video ain't going to last long because this light's starting to mess with me.
But anyway, I washed the gazebo out with the pump out of the well. I pumped it down to the top of the pump, come up, turned it off, went back and checked it that afternoon. There wasn't much water in it. Next day, it had a little water in it, a little more than usual. In 2 days, it filled back up. And I thought, well, that's pretty good because we pumped a lot of mud out of it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of trouble keeping the pump going because of the mud in the bottom. So I pumped it down again.
Mhm.
That was Monday
Yeah.
afternoon. I pumped it all the way down. Watered
In
my,
anticipation of this rain.
watered my muscadines and stuff. That's what the well was dug back out for, was to take care of the muscadines, take care of the grapevines and stuff like that. They're down in the corner of the yard and it's hard to get hoses to them. So I pumped it down again on Monday. I came back on Tuesday, it already filled back up. Tuesday afternoon. So I pumped it down again. We knew it was going to rain Wednesday, so I pumped it down just as far as I could get it. Now that it's rained, it's full again. I checked on it yesterday. It finally got dry enough I could get to it. Because the garden goes right up to the well. It's very hard to get to it unless you track all the way around and come back up to the blackberries. Everything's mushy out there anyway, it don't matter, but I mean, you stand in water wherever you go, which is another good thing. The well's holding water, their swales are holding water. We made videos about building swales around our fruit trees. You can actually see water standing in the grass when I went over yesterday.
Mhm.
I walked through checking on the blooms and the blossoms and see what's budded out and growing, and so far we've had a lot of good news, I guess you can say. Most everything's budding out or blooming, or already done both. The one I'm excited about is the pawpaw tree. We have 3 pawpaws planted, 2 of them small, one of them's about head high. And it's got 3 blooms open down. It's got what looks like at least 2 more coming on. That's 5 times better than last year because it had 1 bloom last year, all it ever opened. So it's improving. I don't know if it'll ever have fruit, but at least it's trying. It's budding out and blooming out. And one of these days I think it'll have fruit, which would really be neat to have a pawpaw here again. They're known to be in this area, but people just can't seem to find one or tell you where it is if they do know. But I can tell them where 3 is now. I can tell them where 4 is. I've got one growing in a pot in the storeroom. I don't know where it's going. We're going to have 4
It's
of
our
them
grow room.
Yeah, it's grow room.
That's where everything goes and to grow. But yeah,
We worked in the yard. We got us a load of wood chips. We had a friend that brought us a truckload of wood chips, which is going to help the swales and kill some grass, I hope.
Oh, we grow very good grass. I've said we grow really good grass. We don't grow as good a grass as whatever is in our chicken feed that the chickens didn't
I
eat.
think it's wheat.
Because that suckers have, those things, roots. I mean, roots. And we pulled them, and it wasn't 3 days later, because it's all in our where we...
I put chicken manure around the onions I grew.
Yeah.
Well, one section, I had 2 different sections of onions. So I put cardboard down and put chicken manure around them.
You can't find the onions for the grass. We dug we pulled all the weeds out as best we could, cut the grass back as good as we could to find the onions again. And 2 days later,
You started back up.
you can't find the onions again. And I told Brad, I said, I don't know what this stuff is. But it's really, really good.
We probably lost them onions, but I mean, with this weather, you can't get out there. You'd have to wade in the mud to get to it.
It's the thickest stuff I've ever seen.
And you'll pull the onions up and you pull the roots up. So
I tried to take scissors and just trim it back where the onions could see above it. And
I think I'll take the weeder and see if I can turn the head sideways on it and cut it. What do you call that? Where you cut around the sidewalk, edge it?
Edge it.
I got the edging blade. I might put the edger on.
I have.
Edge my onions.
I have never seen anything grow like this grass is growing. I mean, it's wow.
It's amazing.
What's that green stuff you had in the swales that you was pointing to me? Because it's
Clover.
really green right now.
It's medium
No,
red
that
clover.
big leaf.
Oh,
the big leaf.
you
See
talking
it?
about the comfrey?
Yeah.
The
That stuff's gotten huge.
is actually doing good this year. It struggled last year. It was its first year last year, and some of it didn't make it. We got several back, and they're really growing good this year. I hope we'll be able to spread it and multiply it and
That's huge.
plant more of it around my trees.
I don't know how
Well,
many.
we got medium red clover growing everywhere.
I don't know how much lettuce we're going to have come up.
If
We
it don't
forgot
grow
the
first.
we forgot the seeds on the table outside, and it blowed off into the grass. And that is growing very well.
And then it rained on it.
And then it rained on it, so we have no idea how much lettuce is going to come
Yeah,
up.
it was a little paper envelope. Had some lettuce seed left in it.
We went in. I looked at Brett and I went, "Uh-oh." He said, "What?" I said, "We forgot to take in the seed." He's like, "Okay," and I'm like, "And it's everywhere."
I've had plenty of lettuce.
Unless it got washed away, because there's a small river running at that location right now.
Our what is that? Dinosaur kale. It's in
Yeah.
the same little bed that we plant our lettuce in.
Yeah.
It's been there for 2 years. It come back out last year. It's back out this year. It's actually seeding right now. It's actually budded,
It's got
bloomed out and fixing to seed.
flowers on it.
So I guess if you ever get dinosaur kale established, you don't never have to buy it again because it'll keep spreading itself.
What about that thing that you planted in that box at the end of that?
Oh, you're talking
That
about
root thing.
horseradish.
Horseradish. That's right.
The coldest weather did burn the leaves down on it. It didn't completely kill every one of them, but I covered it with straw, and now it's back up a foot tall.
We're going to have some horseradish.
I told her, I said, at the rate we're going, we might have to dig horseradish root with a backhoe. You'll be down in the garden and everywhere else as much rain we're getting.
Oh, yeah.
The ground's soft, it's going to be growing every direction it can possibly run. The Tennessee fig, Tennessee mountain fig. I have 3 of them. One of them's good size. It's been around for about 2 years. It's the only fig I've found so far that's coming back out, but it's actually coming back out on the old wood. The first one we've had to do that in a while. I'm hoping the Tennessee fig actually makes a tree and doesn't die off every year. If it'll come out on the old wood and maybe survive the winter, this coming winter. There's a lot of ifs in that. If it will.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a comment from somebody the other day. A sarcastic comment. It's like, so you actually call these things trees? I had a video about the fig trees from a year or 2 ago, and I had to explain to them, this is Middle Tennessee. We do get below 0 weather in the winter. We get frozen ground and ice and snow, and it kills most all fig trees to the ground. It won't kill the roots, but it'll kill the foliage and the wood above the ground, and they have to grow back every year. And I explained to them, 7 or 8 foot of growth in one growing season is quite a bit, even though it does burn it back and kill it off every year. I don't know how big them trees would be if they could actually grow on old wood.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get 8 foot of new growth from the stump, basically,
Mm-hmm.
what would it be if it actually started at 8 feet and doubled the next year or better? But I thought I'd just go ahead and cover that in case somebody else was wondering. Yes, everywhere you look online, they call it a fig tree. It's not a fig bush or a fig plant or a fig anything else. They're called trees. It just so happens it's cool enough they don't make it here. You can get fruit, you can have a big beautiful tree, but when it gets ice cold weather, it's gonna die back, and you can just cut it down most of the time and start over. But they're worth growing it for the fruit.
Mm-hmm. Our grandson loves the figs.
Yeah, we like to ride him on the side by side around the fig trees. He eats them just as fast as I can pull them.
I don't think we got a single fig made it. No, I don't think one fig made it home from the ones over at his house.
Well, we didn't hardly get a Chicago fig. We got some Chicago Hardies, and that's what he loves. They're really sugary sweet, and they're little.
And he eats them faster than we can grow them.
We have to remind him you can't eat the green ones. But
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's 4 years old. He sees a fig, he thinks he can eat it, and I'm like, no, 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 you can't eat the green ones. It's like a green strawberry. No, you got to stop him because he'll eat all these strawberries too. You start pulling strawberries, he's eating them this fast. You can pull them out and hand them to him.
We don't get many strawberries either.
It makes it worth it though.
No, he loves his fruit.
Hopefully at the end of this, well, and then be next week. This is Saturday. Hopefully in a few days we'll be able to plant tomatoes and cucumbers and a few other things and help unload our grow room. Get it where we can walk in it now. The shelves are full and the floor is getting full.
Yeah.
Get some fig trees outside.
We got to get around to building that greenhouse.
Yeah. I did plant I planted a sweet cherry, naking, Nanking, naking cherry. And I planted a Concord grape and what was that other? I can't remember what the name of it. It's a white grape anyway. Starts with an N.
Niagara?
Is it Niagara? I think so. Niagara grape.
I just remember thinking Niagara Falls.
The ground's already so warm here. They should do good. We'll have another frost. I just have to cover them up. But I don't know if we're going to have a frost or we're going to have a flood. But
shouldn't have to water them for a day or two.
Shouldn't have to water anything for a day or two.
Except all the stuff in the grow room.
I thought we'd catch y'all up on what's been going on because we've been busy dancing between the raindrops, but it's thundering now. It's going to start up again. More rain.
Supposed to rain all night.
Yeah. Anything else you can think of we hadn't disclosed? We've talked about the trees and the bushes and the vines now. And everything's blooming out. And we got 9 rows of potatoes and the gardens are swamped. I think we pretty well covered everything that's been going on. Other than just trying to get plants ready and trying to keep them up potted and happy. Because the last thing, the autumn olives. I started out with 33, I think, autumn olives. And we was reading about them, how invasive they was, how they take over and grow. I'm not worried about them anymore. Because I'd be lucky if I got 20 of them left. The least little thing happens to one of them bushes, it dies. They are the most frail, the most easy to hurt bush I've ever seen. I'm afraid if you break a leaf, it might die. I've got some that looks good, but there's some in there that just don't seem to want to come around. I don't know if there's not enough nutrition or what. They're supposed to grow on bad ground, but I figured planting or grow mix and garden mix would be hot enough for it, but might not be. I know the lights are starting to bother her. We're going to have to wind this up. I tried to get everything in. I guess I covered too many subjects, but hopefully that gets everybody caught up what's going on around here. If somebody's curious, we're always busy doing something. We had a woodworking project last couple of days. We'll have to make it another video. I ain't got time to cover it, but it's sitting in front of me, but I'm not going to pick it up and show it to you. We'll make it a different video. But hope everybody else is having good luck with the weather. Plant something. Grow you some food. God bless. There you go.